thank y'all for giving me this opportunity to give you a little report on the Texas legislature. Had a good session, all in all. It was a tumultuous session with a new speaker. Got off a little bit of a late start. Toward the end, there was a small meltdown. Y'all probably heard about it in the news. We're right in the heat of when everything gets passed. Great tumult arose, and everything just came to a halt. There were 5 days that basically nothing moved. Many of you have been in board meetings that go on for hours and hours and hours. Imagine your worst board meeting that starts at 9 in the morning and goes till midnight for 5 consecutive days with the intentional plan being to do nothing. Lots of bills died, dozens, perhaps hundreds of bills died. Some good, some bad. When you kill bills and you kill them all like that, you get the good ones and the bad ones. So it was an interesting session. As you've probably seen from the pictures that are running, we love being in Killeen, but we also love being with the grandkids and doing the fun things with them. So every once in a while we get kind of whiny and jolly, why are we doing this? And I come to something like this, and I think you do it because it's a neat thing to do. And Marie and I have gotten into this. This is our second term we're in now, and I'll go ahead and make it official. I'm going to run again. I'm going to try to for those of you that helped us along the way, we'll be calling on you, so rest assured. It's a neat opportunity that not many people get, and I don't take it for granted. If you envision the population of Nolanville, that's about the number of people who have served in the Texas House and Senate combined in the entire history of Texas. So I count it a great privilege to represent you and to not by any means take it lightly. With that, let's kick it off and talk about the state of Texas and where it is and some of the things that got done and didn't get done. For those that don't know, I was privileged to serve on the Appropriations Committee, my first time on the Appropriations Committee, and also served on the Public Education Committee. Most of you know that the main reason I got into this was education issues. And not only was I on the Appropriations Committee, they put me on Article 3 on the Appropriations Committee. They divided the budget up into articles. Article 3 is the education part of the budget. So I got education issues up to my pretty little eyebrows this session. Texas budget this time is $182.3 billion. Has a 7.4% increase. Now the moniker that we're trying to latch onto in the state government is to try to keep that figure of growth of the biennium at less than the combination of population growth and inflation. There's nothing magical about that. It just seems like it's a defensible position. And that 7.4% will be well below population growth and inflation. So that's what we're shooting at for a target pretty much. The interesting thing about the present budget is that it draws $12.1 billion from the federal stimulus money. And we're betting that money shows up. Dr. Anderson, you've never been promised money that didn't show up in the state of Texas. I know. Anyway, we won't go there. If that money does not show up, if for some reason the federal government says, Texas, you can't have the money, we're in deep trouble. So we'll keep that in mind. The other interesting thing that got done was that it reduced general revenue spending, actual dollar reduction by about 1.9%. Some of that was made possible by that $12.1 billion, of course. And so we felt good that the actual revenue that will be taken from Texans in the form of state taxes actually went down by about $1.6 billion. I'll try to get through this, and then maybe we'll have a few minutes for questions if I don't talk too long. SB 629 established Texas A&M University Central Texas. Dr. Ross. it's a Senate bill, Senator Royce West. The thing that we forget sometimes here in our community is that that bill not only produced Texas A&M Central Texas, it also gave birth to Texas A&M San Antonio, and it also gave birth to the University of North Texas in Dallas. It is probably the only time in Texas history that we've added 3 new universities in one day. And I was privileged to have the House version of that bill. Everybody says, well, how did you finally get it done? It was real easy. Dallas had a delegation. San Antonio had a delegation. We just simply anchored our little bitty lifeboat in between 2 great big frigates and ran it right down the channel. And Senator Frazier was gracious enough to let Senator Uresti from San Antonio and Senator West from Dallas do the arm wrestle to see who got their name on the bill, and Senator West won. And so he was very helpful. Senator Frazier was magnificent in helping do that. For those of you in the University of Texas fans, I don't know whether you know those in here or not.
I don't think so.
Sure not, but anyway, we're finding something about the 10% cap rule. University of Texas was just in desperate straits for admission room to have discretion in admission, and we put some flexibility for them. That was a big issue. It took up about a day and a half of debate on the floor. Could not figure out why University of Texas was that important, but anyway.
I've got a picture of you
in an orange shirt. I know, I lost the bet, yeah. The other big thing that we did in appropriations that I think is really big, there's a huge increase. I should put the dollar amount to the percentage. There's 44% increase in Texas grant program. And there's also an increase in the, what's the other one, Dr. Anderson? Anyway, I can't think of the name. Anyway, scholarship money got a big plus. The cost of education, higher education in Texas is greatly above what it was. We're still probably better than most states, but quite honestly, it's one of those things that's getting where it had to have help for kids to afford it. And we decided the place to put that money was in the grants for scholarships. So if you got kids or grandkids that are looking for grant money, they ought to have better prospects this time around than they've had in many, many years. Lots of money went into